Here we are at the Bassendean Bowling Club for finals day of the Bowls WA State Singles for men and women. We've got quarterfinals action starting off for the men. The women are in their semi-finals action. We'll have a match here from the quarterfinals, then we'll get into the women's final and we'll round the day out with the men's final. It's going to be a massive day. Clive Adams here, joined by Peter Harris. How are you, Pete?
I'm very well, Clive. It's a glorious day at the Bassendean Bowling Club.
Isn't it perfect?
It is.
We are sitting right alongside the rink here. There's hardly a breath of wind at the moment. A slick Bassendean surface to play on. There is no doubt about that, running around about 17 seconds already.
They should, everyone is going to enjoy that. There's no doubt. It doesn't get any better than this.
It does not. All right, we have got men's quarterfinal action coming up for you right here. It'll be Blake Butler to take on David Goddard. Blake from the Manning Club, David from Harvey. So it should be an interesting match, a bit of a metro versus country clash as well. We always love one of those. The other men's quarterfinals, Shane Knott taking on Daniel Truella, Chris Lander taking on Cody Packer, and Todd Weir versus Stein Davies. They are the four men's quarterfinals, and of course we've got the women's semi-finals taking place as well. Interesting lineup this women's semi-finals because three of them have been here before.
Yes, they have.
And none of them have been successful on this day.
No, and in reasonably recent times, so
All within about the last 5 or 6 years.
We're going to have a new winner anyway.
Yeah, so Chris H. Watson takes on Irene Arndt, and Kerry Anderson versus Deb Saunders. Yes, Deb's the one that hasn't been here before.
No.
It'll be interesting to see how she can settle in against the experience of a Kerry Anderson.
Oh,
I mean,
super
wow.
consistent.
Oh,
super consistent.
Pointy end of every event, it seems.
Yes.
So the guys have just completed their roll-up here, and we are not far off getting underway here. David Goddard and Blake Butler. David using the blue bowls, Blake using the white bowls, so it'll be nice and easy for you to follow along. Of course, we are streaming on the streamer service, which is an exciting new partnership for Bowls WA, Pete.
Certainly, yeah. It sounds obviously our first time, but there's a lot of different sports on there, so it seems to be really popular. So get on there. Well, you are on there if you're listening to this right now, but you can subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. It's all free. Subscriptions obviously let you do a few things if you really want to, but it's all free. So hopefully it does well.
Alrighty,
So
Jack has been rolled, and David Goddard will get us going.
Going to lead us away.
Left-hander versus right-hander here as well.
Of course, Blake is the only remaining male that has actually won it.
Yep.
Not sure if that counts for anything, but
Well, remember his shot that he won it with as well?
he does. Yeah, if it gets close in the latter stages, expect him to bring the mat up and the jack on the tee, and he
Yeah.
might. That's a shot that he likes to play with.
It's a shot that we've seen become more and more prevalent in a BPL sense.
Yep.
We see that a lot in tiebreakers at the BPL.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen it so much in state singles type
No.
play when Blake did it just a few years ago. Of course, against Daniel Truella, who's still going in this field.
Well,
Manning
yes.
versus Manning clash there. Both players looking to find their range early here. Well, Blake landed in the line there, but David, not to be perturbed, is going to stick with his backhand side.
So all the sectionals and knockouts were last weekend, and from all reports, I saw Blake on the Saturday, but they were both in really good form on the Sunday.
This is a nice line, but he's just crashed into that front bowl of Blake. So Blake holding shot at the moment.
Yep, so both on their backhand, but opposite sides of the green, just to confuse things.
Now this match is 21 up. So being a quarter-final, still 21 up. The women's semi-finals are 25 shots up. And then from the semi-finals, the men's event will also step up to 25 up. Blake looking to just run this out. That'll do enough to count. So that's a couple to Blake early here and may force a change of hand now for David.
And we are on the number one rink, but it is well in from the ditch, so it's probably normal 1.5 rink. So he looks to have a little bit of weight, but a little
edge.
Little edge doesn't hurt.
Gave it every chance there.
Yep.
Early on, you can't expect to be too precise earlier on, so it was a handy little land there. Now, is there a path for Blake just to play through his own bowls here and maybe get to that last bowl? I think that's what he was thinking line-wise, but this is just going to drop away. He certainly gave it a chance to roll the bowls or sit the shot bowl. Harvey, of course, had a wonderful fundraising event on Thursday, and I know a lot of the Premier League teams actually raised money for that yesterday as well, based on margins. And Cambridge will be contributing $190 to the cause, and very happy to do so on a number of fronts. Yes. A wonderful cause. Harvey have done that a couple of years now. Anthony Burnham doing his 24-hour challenge. It's brilliant stuff from a real community feel.
Yes, doing a lot of good things. They got a few juniors, or a couple of juniors that were up at the championships last year.
Yeah, Dante and Cam. And David's club captain there at Harvey.
So he'd be looking for similar weight with a bit more line, you would think.
Well, this is closer. What's he got?
He's got something, because he's been clapped by the opponent.
It's a sensational shot from Blake Butler early in the match. He's made at least 2. They'll have a look for 3. Perfectly, just perfect correction. Very similar weight to his third bowl. There's the 2 removed.
That precision on the first end of weight control especially is pretty special. We know Blake is a pretty special singles player.
Yeah, he certainly is. Blake, years ago, I believe he was runner-up in the New South Wales singles. It might have been to Aaron Sheriff. So he's always had a great singles game. 3 shots it is to Blake to get us scoring. Men's quarterfinal, 21 up is the journey here. Two shots apiece currently between Chris and Irene in the women's semi-final. Chris Ace Watson and Irene Arndt. I think they share a state singles loss to Christina in the final. I think both of them have suffered that one.
Yeah, well, a few people have, but Irene made up for it last week when she beat Christina.
Yes,
in the quarterfinals. So, and I think Christina was quite happy with her game, but Irene just was too good. So Blake's gone for a little bit shorter than 3/4, and I think Blake generally does like to play on the shorter side.
Well, David with a nice reply here. Just needs us to hang on now late.
So it's interesting selection. He's gone backhand again.
Essentially backhand around the
clock.
We
will find out if he's going around the clock or whether he just decided to change hands.
Well, as I said at the start, the breeze isn't used. There's a few little puffs coming through, isn't there? A few little gusts, but nothing major. As Blake with a beautiful correction here. He's certainly making the running early here.
Pushed it a little bit, but if he's going to run around that back one. But
Pete, it's great to see some different names on this final day, isn't it? Todd Weir's one that we haven't really seen at the pointy end of state events. Stein Davies, one that has been around a long time.
I remember beating Stein in a Country Week singles semi-final 20 years ago. So
he's one of the favourites around the place too. Everyone loves Stein. As Blake changes hands and adds another. Now, he's turned his own bowl, but I don't think he's made too much of a target there.
There's enough of a target, I think, to change hands, and you can get both.
Just looking for the gap, pretty much. Aim for the gap, and solid weight, just going to drop under. Okay, Pete, if you're Blake Butler right now, are you looking for cover?
That's a
good
good question.
Another?
Good question.
That's
this early in the game?
Yep. You're here to answer them.
I thought I was asking the questions. Like, I would probably be tempted to be changing hands and trying to turn that just in front of Jack High bowl through, just to make it a lesser of a target.
On Blake's backhand?
On Blake's backhand,
sorry. Oh, yeah, that's where he was last hand, so that last bowl. So
yep, so I'd be... Yep. Sorry.
Even if he turns the jack round the corner, it only makes it...
Turns his own, the one on the jack, one roll, brings in the back one.
So he knows where that line is.
So he's only one down at the back this early stage. I'd be prepared to risk it, just knowing I'm only going to go one down.
I'll tell you what, he's not far away. What a great shot this is.
One roll up? No.
Well, I thought he had contact. Yeah. He was just caught. He just passed around the outside. But
so it's interesting. You don't want to get that side bowl and get your own. That's the only danger here.
Let's wait. Now is he just on the outside? Sorry about that. We just missed the outcome of that one, but that's all right. It leaves 2 shots to Blake, and he extends to a 5-0 lead after just 2 ends have been played. Of course, ends don't matter. It's first to score 21 will book their place in the semi-finals here in the Bowls WA State Singles.
So the Kerry Anders Deb Saunders ring. Kerry's started 3-0 at the moment and holding shot, so she's off to a good start. It
feels like the start's important there for Deb.
Yep.
So she won't want to let that creep out any further. Of course, Kerry Anderson made her way into this semi-final with a 21-4 win over Lisa Featherby.
Yes.
And I spoke to the two of them during the week, actually, and Lisa was most complimentary of Lisa. She had her excuses in a way.
Did.
I mean,
she'd
just flown back from Europe, having been on the World Bowls Tour, and have done a fine job over there as well, might I add.
Yes.
But, Kerry didn't give her club mate any room to move at all.
No, she was quite mean. Mean and stingy. Which is not Kerry's nature.
No, certainly not.
But on a bowling green.
Unforgiving. Well, both players just a little quick with their first attempts here. If you're enjoying the coverage, there is the opportunity to comment to us and talk to us via the Bowls WA Facebook page. So if you want to put any comments in there is a post there. And you can put your comments in there as Blake with a nice correction there. And speak of Lisa Featherby, and I look up and she's appeared at the back of the rink there.
No, I think she's doing the boards. She never stops.
Very good.
Always doing something.
Now, how's David gone with his correction here? Needs us to run all the way, but they certainly are. I mean, the finish on this rink is outstanding for this time of the morning. It might be very interesting to see what this is running at about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yes.
Because it is going to be flying.
It's going to be flying. Breeze will be a little bit up a little bit. We hoping for a slight cooling breeze come this afternoon.
Oh, doing weather forecasts as well, Pete?
No, I'm doing weather hopes.
What was the temperature forecast for today?
36.
Okay.
So and we know Bassendean will be all of 36.
Yeah, okay.
But we're under the shade of the marquee at the moment, so...
Now, of course, we are streaming via streamer. We do urge you to have caution on any links that are posted as part of that Bowls WA Facebook page. Post for comments, as David plays a fantastic shot there.
David,
beautifully played. We do urge you to be careful with those links that you click, so just please only click links that are on verified posts. So the main body of a Bowls WA Facebook post will be safe. Anything in the comments, just be a bit careful.
It'll basically be that first link that we put up. Any links underneath that,
yeah, please ignore them. They will appear, and there's only so much we can do to get rid of them. Of course, you can go straight to the streamer app and the streamer page, and you'll be able to link straight in through there. Now, Blake potentially looking to roll his own. He looks just on the wide side. So here's an opportunity for David to get himself on the board and start getting a bit of confidence into the match. You just, his first experience at this sort of level, just want to get that scoreboard ticking over early.
You want to get one on the board, and then. So it's a nice safe draw line here around his own, beating the white jack high bowl.
We'll give you an update of the other scores as matches have started. We'll give you an update on those after this bowl.
And while we love you watching, if you're in the area, it's a great opportunity to come down and watch all the games all day. So it's going to be a great day.
So David just looking really just to replicate his last bowl, his previous attempt, which was perfectly weighted. Looks to be on a slightly tighter line.
Slightly more weight as well, so that might just help that line.
I don't know that that's made any difference. I think it'll still just be the one shot to David, but he'll be happy to take that. One shot it is, and it is a 5-1 advantage to Blake Butler after we've played 3 ends of this one. Of course, it's first to 21 takes the chocolates. In the other men's quarter-finals, 1 shot apiece between Todd Weir and Stein Davies. It's a 2-1 lead to Shane Knott over Daniel Truella, and a 3-0 lead to Chris Lander over Cody Packer. And in the women's semi-finals, a 4-3 lead to Irene Arndt over Chris Ace Watson, and a 4-0 lead to Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders.
So David's has certainly gone longer. He's only about a metre, 5 feet off the tee, and he's pretty well. He's on the tee in the mat. And it does seem like backhand all round.
It does, yeah.
Which he certainly can do at the moment. Especially with the clubhouse. The clubhouse will be protecting him from any breeze at all. Might swirl around the ends of the clubhouse a little bit, but it won't be affecting the middle part.
Blake just landing about a metre past with his first attempt on this end. Some interesting results in the men's pennant competition yesterday. I think the most interesting match was actually in First Division White. It was Bassendean versus Joondalup.
Yes, that was to
decide who's going to get promotion, who gets the automatic promotion, who's got to fight for it, and they drew.
Yeah, they drew. Aggregate.
Of course, Joondalup took the lion's share of the points,
with 3
which is ironic given the fact they were playing the Bassendean Lions. But yeah, so that battle's still got plenty to play out for the rest of the season. Another correction there from Blake. It was similar to what we saw last end from him. A little quick with the first, and then a nice correction with the second. And that's what the sport's all about, really, isn't it? It's you're never going to nail it every time with that first one. It's that correction that you make and the learning that you make each time. David Killish von Horn looking after us from a marking perspective.
Very experienced marker and very experienced player, so they're in safe hands.
Tell you what.
There's a nice reply here by David.
David tucks in behind.
Falls down.
You'd think that's done enough for shot.
Is Blake going to do the right thing and ask the question?
Looks like he has. Favour blue is the call from David. Of course, we thank all of our markers out here today.
Certainly, there's some ITOs and some aspiring ITOs. Do a great job. They did a great job for us last Sunday as well. And there'll be a few of them involved in Country Week, men's and women's Country Week, when that comes around as well. So Blake's trying to get back around, but just won't quite.
Well, once again, David a chance to add another here, and Blake's still got one to play, so it'll be important that David can get another bowl around the place here. Otherwise, he might just leave Blake with a shot to play. So.
Umpire called on rink 4, so Seahawk gets the job nice and early.
David's not far away here.
He's not far away. He's just got to run that little bit. Not quite.
Don't think he's done enough for. I don't think he's done enough for third shot. I think that'll be fourth shot, which. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Blake could attack, but he hasn't got the back of the rink.
No, he doesn't want that jack and not following. You would think he's just that metre over, turning his own. He gets the jack a metre or so.
Yep.
Gets the jack 5 feet.
Forehand through his own little trail.
That's a nice Blake shot. Certainly for both of them and David, picking his line has been really good. So he's sort of one of the.
He's going bigger weight.
Wait there, we hold that thought.
He's going big, solid weight.
There you go.
Looked a little under out of the hand.
Anything could happen from that angle. Nope.
So
this is the outside.
We believe it's going to be 1 to David. I think Blake has conceded that. I think I saw the signal from Blake.
It's a bit of a rash shot if he doesn't.
Yep. So 5-2, the scoreline in favour of Blake Butler. 2 ends in a row now going the way of David Goddard as he works his way back into this match.
As I was saying, he's picked his line nearly all the bowls. He hasn't missed his line too often. So that's one thing that he's obviously really confident about now. So it's just getting that consistency of weight. Again, he goes longer. That's about 2 mat lengths off the tee, and the jack will be a similar position, about 2 mat lengths off the tee.
So a clear difference in tactics here. You talked about the fact that Blake generally likes the shorter ends. David's figured that out early.
Yeah, without knowing much about David, it's interesting to see whether he has figured it out or whether that's just his preferred length.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know. But again, he's found that line.
Wants to get all the way back to the jack now. Just got underneath the jack in the end. That's how much turn's involved here.
It went a little bit at the end, didn't it?
Just a stunning surface, this. We know it's one of those certainties probably for about the last 5 or 6 years that you knew if you were coming to Bassendean, you're going to be on a good surface.
Yes.
Nice reply here from Blake. I think he has got the jack.
Otherwise, he would have been in a similar position. But
yes,
he got the jack and David didn't.
Interesting shape to that. You know, you could have argued that David could have switched hands here. He's staying on his backhand, just with a little bit more to play to, perhaps on his forehand, with the bowl sitting that side.
Yes.
And that one looks like it might just be travelling a little. And when I say that, it's not a lot, just only a metre or so past. Kerry Anderson continues to lead 5-0 over Deb Saunders, and 6-3 the lead to Irene Arndt over Chris Yates-Watson. Remember, those 2 matches are 25 up, and the reward for those 2 matches is a place in the final of the women's event.
Stein had his hat off and got his own.
Got his own couple, so it'll be a couple to
There's already
Todd
one
Weir
down,
over
so
there.
it's only one more, so it'll be 2 instead of 1.
And that'll be the lead to Todd Weir.
So David changes now. That last Blake bowl, probably not in the way, but it's enough that it would probably make him go tight if you did try and play that hand.
Well, this is going to pass, and this is now an opportunity for Blake. Holding 2. Nothing really needing to cover, so he'll just draw for a third. And that's going to leave David with a big shot to play with his last. How much weight's Blake got with this?
Yeah, not a lot. Not enough, anyway.
Just left that a little underdone.
He'd be quite unhappy with that, I would have thought.
Well, he would, but if you're going to do it, you might as well do it when you're holding 2.
Yes. There are worse times.
Yes. Well, Pete, we'll get to the big announcement that was made during the week in a moment. Let's have a look at
Big announcement.
David's.
Got me on the edge of my seat. Don't remember a big announcement.
Oh, you do. Let's see what David comes up with first.
Well, the lines were pretty good. Has he got the weight? Has he got the run?
I tell you what.
He's trying.
What a fantastic
he's trying
shot.
hard. That's a great shot.
Brilliant stuff. And now his back
Great
bowls
shot.
are suddenly very, very
Yes.
useful.
Yes, they are.
What a shot. And does Blake go the attack? I mean, it's unlikely the jack goes in the ditch in a way. It's more
Yeah.
likely to kill.
It is.
So does he go the attack or does he just try and reach and just nudge the jack?
He
Set the
seems,
bowl.
from previous ends, he seems to be in a bit of an aggressive mood.
Well, if he plays just a little bit of weight and back edges, that's probably not great because the jack will run. So he might be better off going big.
So the drawing on the forehand with like a foot of weight, just a good, comfortable draw.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got a line there on the forehand. That's the thing. His own bowls are
Well,
going to make that tricky.
he seems to think he has, I think, by the way he's shaping. Well, it's interesting.
It's just going to drop
Just
under, I
trying to
think.
get under.
What a great shot from David Goddard just when he needed it.
It's 3 ones in a row.
A wayward bowl there would have probably seen him drop 3. Instead, he pockets one more, and it's a 5-3 lead to Blake Butler. Yes, the Nationals. The Nationals, Pete.
Oh, okay, yes, the venues.
Yeah,
Sorry.
massive announcement for the 3 clubs there north of the river.
Yes.
Joondalup, Sorrento and Warwick. Congratulations to those 3 clubs. And
Yes.
what a thrill it's going to be to have the Nationals back here. I say back here, it's the first time the Nationals as an event
it's only the
has
second
been
year
held
it's been held, so 21 days or something like that? From juniors all the way to the
It's a massive
Australian Championships.
I call it the showcase of bowls because it encompasses nearly every fantastic aspect of our sport.
Yes. No, all the best bowlers across Australia in all age divisions and state champions. It'd be something to come down and see.
Yeah, certainly will.
So we hope good October weather, good spring weather for September to get the greens. But I know Sorrento and Joondalup and Warwick are all in preparations. The greenkeepers all are ready to do probably earlier renovations than they normally would. So they get them back in time.
I spoke to Chris Leggett from Joondalup yesterday. Very excited. Very excited they are. Of course, it is an event that you've got to have 4 greens really to start with, haven't you?
You do.
So it is a short list of who can host.
It is. And there are obviously some other qualifications as well. You know, they're ideally situated with accommodation, the amount of accommodation required, because we're talking. Well, the over 60s are still here when the Open comes, and the under 18s are sort of here when the over 60s. So there's
300 or 400 people.
yeah, there's
at
300 at one time.
Yeah, and that's without people that come along to support as well.
So that's from Scarborough all the way Hillary's and Joondalup, and we're not like the Gold Coast. We don't quite have that accommodation
interesting 4 bowls, a little arc across the front there, and it's going to cause David to switch hands now. Interesting. He had a person just walk across the back of the rink, but he didn't concern him. Some players would have pulled up there, and
they would have.
And
well, he hasn't left it short this time, but he might have just pushed it in compensation. But will go into the ditch.
Pete, you can score in singles without the bowls needing to be necessarily all over the jack, and that's the situation that Blake's looking at the moment. He's holding at least 1. Looks like 2 on our angle, but it may only be 1.
He's pushed it as well. Yeah, so this length has fooled them.
Certainly has. We haven't had an indication as to how many shots it is at the moment, but
fairly certain conditions haven't changed.
It's easy sitting here, Pete.
I'm an expert, don't worry about that. I expect this to be close.
Kerry Anderson now leads 9 shots to 0 over Deb Saunders.
It's that consistency, isn't it? Although Deb looks like she's up at the moment with only 1 bowl each to play, so should be.
Now, has David made the correction here? He's going to need just to pull up.
He does need to stop.
He needs it to pull up, and, well, it's still going.
Yeah, it doesn't want to stop, does it? I thought it's gone a couple of feet further than I thought.
Wow.
So it's certainly 1 to Blake.
Yeah, you'd sort of favour 2, but it is.
Yeah.
That second one will be close.
The camera angle. Come on, David. Our marker, our illustrious marker, not giving us anything. He did have a look, so it's close enough for him to have a look. So on the Saunders-Anderson ring, Anderson drew 2nd shot. So barring some trouble, Deb will get on the board. She'll get on the board with a single, I think.
That's good to see. Some players get on the board, and especially when they're new to this sort of scene. Now, this is going to have to stop as well.
It is.
I think that might have done enough, though. Surely that's in the count. You would think so.
I would think that's shot. They might need the garden hose to measure the others.
Well, while they're working that out, we'll just have a quick look across the rink. 6-4 lead to Irene Arndt over Chris Ace Watson. It's a 5-2 lead to Daniel Truella. Over Shane Knott. Just making sure I got those the right way around. 4-1 lead to Todd Weir over Stein Davies, and a 4-2 lead to Chris Lander over Cody Packer. And that looks like it's going to be 3 to Blake, I believe. And there it is, 3 shots to Blake Butler. A pretty loose 3 shots, but it's 3 shots nonetheless. We don't have room on the card to write down how you got them. You just have to have the 3 closest bowls.
No, I'll just put a question mark next to that one.
And we're going back to a slightly shorter length. He hasn't shortened it up heaps.
No, he hasn't. He's brought the mat up another couple of maybe a metre or so, and he's throwing the jack a metre shorter, so just probably 2 or 3 metres shorter than what they have been playing.
Looking across the rinks, Deb Saunders has gone absolute minimum length pretty much
pretty close.
Against Kerry Anderson.
As close as you would dare anyway.
Yes, on this pace.
She gave herself a couple of mat length.
Unfortunately for her, Kerry's on the jack.
Yes,
so
Kerry read it well.
Key for Deb in this situation, down 9-1 to Kerry, is you've got to keep Kerry out here now. You've got to chip away.
Yeah.
And not let the game just run away, because conditions can change, breezes can come up. Things can change.
Yep, you don't have to get back quickly.
Mm.
You can take 9 ends to get back.
You can.
You got as much time in the world as you want, as long as you're consistently winning ends.
Blake looks like he's just urging this one to get there, but I think he's okay.
I think he's good. Oh, so Deb Saunders just killed the end. That's a good result for her.
Beautifully played there from Blake Butler.
So David looking to lose about 3.5 feet.
It's the sort of pace, this green, Pete, that you have to commit to the shot you're playing, don't you? You can't afford to say, well, I'll just try and reach. This is a fair effort.
It's just every roll's a winner here.
Well, it's a brilliant effort. And there's going to be one to the blue.
It is. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Yeah, you try and reach here and you're quick. You're guaranteed quick.
Yes.
You've
got to be quite specific in the weight that you want to use.
On a 13-second green, you can sort of just be in the area. That's not really an option when it's running this well.
No.
Blake in the zone again.
He runs us out with a front
What a
toucher.
fantastic shot. He didn't touch the jack.
No, he didn't, and tried to get out the door.
It's good enough for shots, no doubt about that. But it's trying to fall out.
It is trying to fall out. It has fallen out. I don't know if that's made a difference or not.
There it goes. Well, from our angle, it looks like it might have done.
From our angle, it looks a lot further away than it was.
Yes.
So it may be different now.
Well, David's in the zone, just on the outside, is he?
Sliding around. Great try. No, Marker David giving us nothing. Great shot for Chris Hayes-Watson. Put the jack in the ditch for 3 or 4 in the rink next door.
Well, we might get a picture of whether Blake thinks he's got shot from the shot that he plays here, although it's really just a little nudge of the jack that he's looking for.
Front touch is 3. Well, the line's pretty good.
Yeah, this is just very, very
got
close. As he got
time.
to the jack. What a shot.
That's a great shot.
Brilliant bowl. Well, that sits for 3.
Needed to correct 2 inches, and
I think David's going to have to attack this. Doesn't really matter if he gets his own. If he gets his own, he's probably getting something of Blake's anyway.
He's got the 2 backest.
2 backest. I think he goes the attack. With good connection, he can get all 3.
Yep. Even one of the bowls onto the jack. Neither of the ones that are going onto the jack will be a toucher.
And he does have the option of just trying to trail the jack. That's his other option. Looking at the delivery, I'd say he's just looking for the trail.
Yep, he is.
It's probably the hardest choice of shot.
Especially when you're 3 down.
Well, he's just on the... I think he's just on the draw and he's going to come up short. Well...
Yeah. Not necessarily the wrong shot, but he couldn't afford to be short, I suppose. That's saying the obvious. You're 3 down. But then you can't afford to be 4 foot through on the draw because you're going to be wide. So
well, it's 3 more on the board, and what we're seeing here is when Blake scores, he scores in bundles. He's had 3 threes and a 2 for his 11 shots, whereas he's only dropped the 3 ones.
It's 4 ends to 3, and he's leading 11 threes. So.
Jack right to the tee again.
Yeah, Jack's going. Yeah, he's keeping it longer than he normally would. Obviously, he's feeling the length.
Well, this is interesting because the bowls that reached the tee on the last end didn't seem to want to stop. No. So it'll be interesting. Sometimes you do find, it's certainly not a criticism of the green, but sometimes you do find when you get to that tee, it's just a bit firmer.
Yeah, people are standing there.
Yeah. And it would be minuscule difference on this surface,
Yes.
because it's so great. Look at this first bowl.
Great start here.
Very solid first bowl, but especially what we saw last end this way, where
Yes.
the closest bowl was about a metre away. So, well, Chris Watson took the lead. Pete next door.
Yeah, she put the jack in the ditch for three.
For three,
And I didn't see
8-6.
Irene's last bowl, but it clearly didn't do anything. So
No, 8-6 now the lead to Chris Ace Watson over Irene Arndt, and an 11-1 advantage to Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders.
pretty good reply here. It just got to stop. Won't need to if he gets the jack, of course.
Brilliant bowl.
Great shot. Really good reply.
So Blake just asking for the position of that bowl. That was to get it clear in his mind whether there was room on the backhand, which is where he's going. So he just clarified that that bowl was past the jack.
He's not happy with it.
Something was said there. There was a little chuckle between the players.
Okay. Don't know if someone moved, did they? Maybe? Or he hit the ground, or...
Both players
Either way.
Both players had a chuckle. I think it just didn't quite come out of the hand.
No. You know, the outcome was not what he was hoping for.
Well, David, back to this backhand side.
Yeah.
I think this will make it all the way to the ditch. I don't think this will stop. They just keep rolling there. Chris Lander and Cody Packer, 4-3 lead to Chris Lander at the moment. A close one over there. Cody Packer's achieved a lot in the sport over the last 3 years, Pete.
Yes.
But he hasn't got a state singles yet.
He hasn't. So Cody's on rink 6, way over the far end.
Yes.
So he's a long way from us, Cody and Chris, but...
And it looks like Shane Knott just picked up a full count of 4 shots there to draw level 6-all there with Daniel Truella. As this bowl
I'm not sure he's taken
of
enough
David's
off.
is going to trickle into the ditch as well. So, look, is there any thought of Blake switching to the forehand here and playing under the jack to the bowl?
Yeah, I would think he's...
His own bowl's sort of in the way of it. He just doesn't have a clear look at it.
Either way, he hasn't got a clear look at it, so your miles, well...
In that case, backhand's probably better in terms of him being able to turn his own bowl up.
He walked backwards for a long time, so he was either contemplating a long way down the green, which I don't know I should play, or he was really just...
Well,
he's
I think
thinking...
he just doesn't want to rip his own closest one out with weight,
No.
because David's still got a bowl to play.
Yeah, exactly. He's leading 11-3, you drop 1.
Given this one a bit more of a look, is it going to get down? It's trying.
Trying hard.
Just caught the edge. Fantastic effort.
Yeah.
You could see he wanted to play it a bit more
Yeah.
deliberate.
Yes.
And that's cost him in the end there, because it just cost him a little bit of turn.
Didn't
But what a
quite get the,
fantastic effort.
Didn't quite get the swing back. Yeah, quarter of a more bowl, that's all he needed.
Well, it has to be considered an opportunity for David here. He's got about 1.5 foot to draw another.
Well, we know he has to lose pretty well exactly 6 feet, because he's trickled in both times.
We've actually got an extra update on that board between Shane Knott and Daniel Truella. It's now 8-6 in favour of Shane Knott. There was two updates to go up on there.
Yeah.
Now, David's done better with this. He's done a lot better with this. That is 2 shots
Yes.
in the first multiple count to David Goddard in the match, and he closes the gap back to 11 shots to 5.
So over on rink 3, Deb Saunders picked up 2 just to get the scoreboard turning over. So that's 3-11 over there.
And trying to play a short end, she's dropped the jack in the ditch.
Jack in the ditch, so Kerry will...
Easily done.
And Chris Ace Watson has edged away a little bit more, 9-6 up over Irene Arndt.
Interesting one for Chris, because Chris made the final a couple of years ago, right here at Bassendean. And fair to say that final didn't go the way she would have liked.
No.
Christina burst out of the blocks, and I think Chris would have liked just to start again. You don't get that chance.
No.
Today's a chance. Today's a chance to get a second crack at it.
Just going on the flags that are just near us, I think we're pushing into whatever breeze there is going this way. So it's a little bit slower.
Yeah. I don't think we can call it slow.
No, I said a little bit slower. Definitely not slow.
Yeah, it looks like it's absolutely flying.
But
yeah, but into the breeze.
There's quite a difference between 15.75 and 16.15.
There are greens you just look at and you say, this is going to run all right.
Yeah, yeah. First impressions are pretty strong.
Yeah.
Pretty strong at Bassendean.
Yeah. Well, Blake just missing underneath and a little bit unders for weight.
Yep.
Into the breeze can be interesting because it just depends on where the breeze hits your bowl sometimes as to how much you turn.
It makes you, if you're starting to lose the weight as it hits you, you really sometimes get a dive.
Nice correction here. Perfect weight. Beautifully played from David.
And it's more likely going to happen on this ditch side because that's where the breeze is sort of coming from that corner, just around the building. So this will come a fair bit in the last part, but he might just be too far past.
And once again, David finds that he needs to get another one in there, as we see Shane Knott and Daniel Truella there doing battle there. Manning versus Manning over there. Manning well represented in the last 8 with 3 players.
Yes, and they'll certainly have one in the semi-final.
Yeah, David needs another one close here because I think otherwise that's just going to give Blake the easy option of just looking for the bowl.
Yeah, he will attack, no doubt. So there's a good road in there. Does seem to be travelling a little bit.
Do you think?
No, I don't think actually. Change my mind. That
you were unfortunate actually because as you said it, he clapped his own bowl and you would have known that it was good. So your timing was unfortunate there, Pete.
It's that 15.75 to 16. It got me.
What a great shot.
I actually thought of it because I see him going to clap. I thought this is a clap because he's not happy with it. Not that he is happy with it. So I thought, okay, I'll just take a punt.
Be interesting to see the shot selection here for Blake Butler. I mean,
I think he'll attack.
Yeah, I think he might too. It's a tough draw.
It's a matter of how he attacks, how much he attacks. He's attacking quite sternly.
So solid weight
on the
from
forehand.
Blake. Needs it to hold on. Just going to drop through the gap. So it's going to be another 2 on the board to David Goddard as he just works his way back into this one, now trailing by 4 shots. 11 shots to 7.
So Irene Arndt wins that end, so she climbs back to 8-9 with Chris Ace Watson 9. I think Deb Saunders has got 2 or 3 over there, so that's 2 ends in a row for her.
Yep, 2 shots confirmed.
Another 2, so she gets to 5 with Kerry Anderson on 11.
Remember, that's to 25, so there is room. The key with these 21 up games is once your opponent gets to 15 or 16, you've got to be on red alert because 21 comes quick, whereas 25 just seems that. I mean, it is further away, but it just seems that bit further away. That it still gives you a chance to.
They've got to get to 20 before you start to panic. Yeah.
A stunning day here at the Bassendean Bowling Club. If you're in the area, get down and enjoy live as David Goddard goes bang and lands right on top of the jack.
Great shot. Great start. And the crowd is building. There is a few people around, which is great to see.
Yeah, car park's looking fairly full.
Yeah.
But there's always parking up the road or on the other side of the clubhouse.
Shopping centre side, there's always plenty of parking over there.
A little bit of a miss here for Blake. So this is where David needs to take this opportunity now and nail another. In singles play, if you nail it with your first, you just got to capitalise on that opportunity to do it again as your opponent searches for it a little bit. Looks handy. Needs it to finish off.
Finish off a little bit more.
Well, certainly not the worst place to have.
No, I was going to say, that's put some doubt in Blake's mind. Is he under? Is he around?
Does he play a little bit of weight? This looks like it's going to be short. So, well, this is a huge chance for David Goddard right now. Irene Arndt's charge back to the front in that match against Chris Ace Watson.
Yeah.
Wow. 12-9 now. Irene Arndt leads.
Yeah. Yeah, real opportunity. He just slides around his short bowl there.
He needs this to run. It'll definitely count.
It will count. He doesn't want to move that bowl what's out there. I reckon that's...
Well, that's very handy.
Blake on the mat really fast.
Has he found a correction here? He's not far away.
He needs to do it a fair bit late. He's definitely going to get second, you'd think.
It's a very good bowl.
Good shot. That gives him something to play to with his last. So David really should be looking just to drop inside that last bowl of Blake's.
Cody Packer has hit the lead 6-4 against Chris Lander and just nailed the jack himself. Shane Knott leads 9-7 over Daniel Truella in the all-Manning clash.
Deb Saunders holding another 2 or 3 over there as well with Kerry's
come back on the cards over there.
One bowl left, and the first 3 went great. So
now what's David got here? Looks to be just a little on the wide side. Well, there are worse places to finish if he decides to. Blake decides to reach up underneath that front blue. Be a brave shot, because if he was just to skirt the jack, he could get his own. So he just wants to play weight. Just looking for weight just to get under there, but to be turning so that he can't get to his own bowl and really playing to the bowl. I think that's what we're seeing play.
He's nearly playing David's last weight is nearly the perfect weight for it. This is that 10 foot. He has got a little bit of weight, but I don't know if he's got a lot.
I'll tell you what.
He is close, bud. He is close.
Needs it to hold on. Oh, just missed. Fantastic effort. I mean, it was a
good weight.
It was a miss on the tight side type shot, but perfect weight for it.
Perfect weight.
Another one on the board to David Goddard, and this for the second time in the match we've seen him string together 3 ends in a row. The most he's taken is a 2, but 2 2s and a 1 for the last 3 ends, and he's back within 3 shots of Blake Butler, who leads at 11 shots to 8.
Well, he has won 6 ends to 4, so.
Yeah, it's just those numbers that he's dropped at the moment that are stopping him from being in front.
Well and truly in this game.
Todd Weir leads in the match against Stein Davies. I just don't have a look at Todd's score.
No,
I know he's in front.
They want to stand in front of the board, which I'm not sure why he would need to do that.
Yeah.
Willie?
There you go, 7-3, and there's going
go.
to be an update here as well. So
Marco Willie Tan, who's
wow.
a great volunteer of Bowls WA.
Well, Todd leading.
He stretched the lead, hasn't he?
10. Oh, Stein's had an update there as well. 10-5. 10-5 to Todd Weir over Stein
Great
Davies.
start from David Goddard here.
He's got a nice little run on at the moment.
He has.
That Chris Ace Watson and Irene Arndt match is moving along at a frightening pace. 14-9 now the lead to Irene Arndt as Blake Butler grabs the jack, takes it to within millimetres of the ditch.
Super trail.
Look at that. Now I can tell you that jack, the bottom of your screen is not far from the ditch. And so you can see how close to the ditch that jack is. It would just be mere an inch or two.
Tough draw.
Tough draw, you're telling me.
Is he holding? You can't quite get the angle.
Just going to drop under.
Dropping underneath. Perfect weight.
We are watching from side on. Side on bowls is an art form.
Perfect weight. I'm not quite as experienced as my counterpart here. I'm just learning the caper.
The train rattles by the club. We were out at Gosnells yesterday.
Yeah, the train street.
Yeah, there was a few trains.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
All modes of transport covered out there.
Definitely not as bad as it used to be.
Great to see a solid Safety Bay crew sitting alongside us, cheering for Irene Arndt next door.
Then not a lot of cheering going on at the moment, considering she's in front.
Yeah.
You'd want them a bit louder. We'll have to wake them up.
Oh, now is this out to the line? Looks like it's just going to drop under.
Yeah. The weight is superb again.
Almost identical to his last effort. That wind's dropped right away again now, hasn't it, Pete? It's very still here at the moment. Just feel it warming up a little.
I'm not sure Blake's pushed it as much as he would like to have either. Well, can he replicate the weight 3 bowls in a row and just get that line out there?
Yeah, you can just catch the edge of the bank there at the bottom of your screen. So you can see that jack just sitting on the edge of the green. Tough shot here for David. He'd be very happy if he can get second shot.
Oh, here's some interest.
He's trotting after it.
We'll see if he's a good judge of his own bowls.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't mind it.
He's got to hold.
He needs to hold, he does.
Needs to hold badly.
And he's just going to drop in the ditch, I think.
Oh, that's
so close.
Good efforts.
Well, Blake can play with confidence here. You know, he's not going to. He can't give shot away.
No. Has he got 1 or 2?
He certainly does. I think it's 2.
He said.
I think it's 2.
I think it's 2.
So we see Chris Ace Watson there, delivering the final bowl of the end next door. There's Blake now looking to add another, just looking to beat those bowls that are on the edge of the ditch.
He seems to be playing to them more than actually drawing to them, so it might only be 1. Because he certainly had the weight to put them both in the ditch.
And David's offered him 2.
Well, then it's kind of a weird shot then. Yeah.
2 it is.
That was a weird shot. I want to just point that out, Blake. If you're watching this in replay, I would like to know what your thinking was.
13-8 the lead to to Blake Butler. And again, Blake is yet to score a 1 in this match. Everything has been multiples.
Look, I'm backing. He's won one more state singles than I have, so
Yeah,
I'm with him.
Yeah.
But
Oh. Has he?
I think he's only won one.
You've got a runner-up. You've got a runner-up in the singles, haven't you, Pete?
Yeah, I got a runner-up.
Yeah.
They're probably the hardest ones to win.
Who was that to?
Can't remember. Some clown. For those out there, my counterpart isn't being very nice. Clive just got me. The green wasn't quite as quick as this is.
It was nice, but it wasn't.
Nice.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't
not quite.
I didn't think it was that nice.
Not quite this speed. A nice opener there from David.
Yep. So this is where Blake has shortened it up. So he's gone to his go-to. So he must be under some kind of pressure.
Corrected well. Corrected very well. Beautifully played.
Shot.
I might see David switch. Well, he's going to stick with his forehand.
He is.
Well, great effort there from David. Just drifted under. His weight was perfect.
Bowls in the head. Sets himself up for the second part of the end. Packers out to an 8-4 lead over Chris Lander.
Shane
Knott's out to a 13-7 lead over Daniel Chiarella.
Remember that they're 21 up games. So
Yes.
David sticking with his forehand side. Thought he might have been tempted to switch to the backhand, try and sit the bowl.
He's got the weight to sit something. Has he got a piece of jack? No, he's sliding on the outside.
Well, he's gone down to have a look. I'd be surprised if he plays forehand with his last, but Blake's got something to say about that first.
It's a pretty skinny target on that forehand.
And I will say this. Watching that bowl leave Blake's hand just shows you how quick this is running. That looked like it hardly came out of his hand when he delivered that. I wondered, watching it out of the hand, I wondered whether he was short because it just didn't look like it had come out with any sort of pace on it, and he still managed to get past.
So we heard, I'm not sure if you heard a bit of clapping there. The Safety Bay player, after we gave him a bit of a rev up, the Safety Bay crowds come alive.
Stein Davies just with a big hit on in his match against Todd Weir. Of course, Todd leading 10-5 there.
So he's put the jack in the ditch.
How much weight here for David Goddard? That's the question. He has switched to his backhand side and looking solidly for the bowl. He's close.
Got a hold.
You've got bowl and Jack will go out of bounds, I believe.
The bowl's definitely out. And the jack is out.
Well, it's better than one down.
It is.
He would have loved to get the bowl clean.
So Irene Arndt's one or two more up at the moment with Chris Ace Watson's last bowl to come, leading 15-19 Irene.
Well, Blake with a solid opener there. It's going to trickle back a couple of feet past, but Deb Saunders continues to just close that gap.
Yeah.
Pete, back to 12-7 now in favour of Kerry Anderson.
So 12's not even halfway yet, so she's done well.
I reckon that's the one. When you're playing 25 up and you get to 12, you're like 12-7, you feel like you're well up, and you go, gee, I've still got a long way to go.
Yes, I've still got to score more than I've just got.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, great effort there from David, but chips the jack down to Blake.
It's just unlucky.
All Blake's got to do is come up with the same bowl again, and he's going to be very close. And hello, there it is, beautifully played.
Just
handy place to be, just in front of the jack, Pete.
It's just taking that sit away from him.
Yeah, that bowl that lands in front, especially with everyone using tighter bowls these days, that bowl landing in front can be tricky for the opponent. You can't see the jack often, which makes it harder to draw too. That's just the way it is. Psychologically. For those out there practicing, don't be afraid to put a jack and then cover it up and then try and draw to it. That's just so you can know the feeling of drawing to a jack you can't see. Tell you what, reply here from David Goddard though.
Just got to settle.
That's a super effort.
Just went through about a foot too far. Stein Davies has got 5 shots over the last 2 ends, so he's climbed back to 10 all with Todd Weir. So that's the close one at the moment.
Just seeing Anthony Burnham in the crowd from Harvey. Good on him for still being able to walk after 24 hours bowls. To turn up and support his teammate is a fantastic effort. Now, it's Blake getting down under here. He is. Look at this.
He'd want to tuck right in, I reckon, and he has.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Oh, I just fell backwards. He'd be disappointed with the fall backwards.
He's got the cover, though, on that hand, so you're right, but at least he's got a little bit of cover there.
David's not changing how. He might be going bigger, is he? He might be going with this. The plant doesn't help him, because that's, helps him as in open it up. But
it's just under. Well, no reason for cover here for Blake. I think he'll look to add another here. That plant, as you say, doesn't line up to jack, so 2 of them could go.
Yeah, but he's not going to get shot out of it. Well, I suppose he's good follow as well, but
need to hit that perfectly for that to happen.
Correct. Well, that's what we're all about, buddy. Perfection. We're not here for, near enough is good enough. Flashed over
Chris
there.
Lander delivering his bowl there, over there.
Deb Saunders holding another 3 with Kerry Anderson's last bowl to come, so she's really climbing back into this game. Blake, has he got the run to get
It's
around?
the turn that he's going to need.
Run
if he gets round, I think he'll get back.
He will. That's 4 shots. He's really got a draw shot here. David, he's got to follow you. Oh. He's played that other side so much, maybe he feels more confident on that side.
Feels like his forehand
gives
him the most options because he can land the shot bowl, but as you say, he hasn't. I think this is more. I think this is a bigger weight.
Going again. So.
Well, this is massive in the context of the match. Contact required. He's got something. Well, he's managed to get one of them out. Has the other one hung in?
So I'm going to, well, we've got a little bit of a break. I'm going to slip out.
Yep.
Thanks, Pete. We're going to let our special guest come in.
We'll catch you a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'll be back. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely. And that was confirmed 3 shots there to Blake Butler. He leads at 16 shots to 8 now. So he's made the break as we welcome in our Bowls Australia Regional Bowls Manager for South of WA. Troy Canane, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Great to be here today.
Yeah, it's perfect conditions, isn't it?
Oh, the weather's great. We haven't seen the wind switch around to the southwest yet, so we're still operating off that easterly breeze. But that's sure to happen probably, just after lunch, I'd say.
Yeah. Often that can change things immensely, temperature-wise and out in the green. So we've seen some interesting matches happening. The women's semi-finals in particular. Deb Saunders was down 11-1. She's back to just 2 shots behind now against Kerry Anderson. 12-10 the lead.
It's good to see that she's got back to the draw, because as we know with Deb, she does like to drive a fair bit, sometimes unwanted. But it's good to see when she got on the board, she's started to get them a bit closer, and she's drawing more often, which is what you need on a green like this, obviously.
And the battle in front of us now. Well, again, Blake, he's scored in. It's been an interesting pattern actually, because he's gone 2 ends won to 3 ends lost to 2 ends won to 3 ends lost. Now he's won 2 in a row again, so we can expect to see David Goddard win 3 ends in a row here, Troy.
It's been an interesting game. Obviously, Dave early, not having the benefit of probably playing it on this green too often, just found he was searching a bit early. He was swapping from hand to hand, but he seems to have settled on that wider hand away from the clubhouse, which is, as you say, as we've seen, when Blake's sort of get ones close, he's been able to group 2 or 3, which has probably been the difference so far.
It's a key to singles. 10-all between Todd Weir and Stein Davies. 14-10 lead to Shane Knott over Daniel Truetta, and 11-4 lead to Cody Packer over Chris Lander at the moment.
That was an interesting, because Chris jumped him early, and Cody's obviously grabbed the ascendancy there now.
Such an interesting field. We've got only Blake in the men's field that has won the state singles. In fact, he's the only player on the green that's won a state singles, because none of the final 4 in the women's competition have. The 3 of them have been runner-up. But when you look at the quality of the players that are out there, it sort of amazes you that only one of them's won a state singles. It shows you how hard they are to win.
Exactly, but it's good to see. You know, we have seen over the past years where we seem to have the same players playing off in both the men's and the women's at the top end of the of the day. So it's great to see some different faces out there.
I agree. Blake, look at this group of bowls around the jack. He's leading 16-8. It's first to 21. David needs to find a way in here. He's not far away. Needs it to run.
He has seemed to have struggled on this side of the green coming this way. Struggled to find his,
yeah.
It is an interesting rink, this one at Bassendean, because all hands on both ways play very differently. And as we've seen, particularly coming this way, you think it's going to turn a bit more, but it quite often holds off, particularly when you're using a fairly tight bowl like he's using.
Which can then mess with your weight, can't it?
If
you don't get the turn, you get a bit more run.
He certainly looked like he's been searching this way. He hasn't quite found it.
Irene Arndt just finding a way through the gap between the shot bowl and the jack next door. But so Chris Ace Watson scores 1, closes the gap to 4 there. Irene Arndt leading 16-12.
That's been a very interesting game so far, that
certainly
one.
Has. High quality players.
Yeah. And the Kerry Anderson game, sorry Clive, has tightened up considerably.
Blake, with 4 good bowls on that end, he's just trickled in past with his last, but David needs to change this. He really doesn't want to drop another couple here. He's either 2 or 3 down.
Blake certainly put the pressure on this last couple of ends.
We'll talk about Harvey in just a moment, Troy. Particularly the shirt that David is wearing.
Yep.
But right now he's using a bit of weight to try and turn this in his favour. He needs it to stick to the jack. Well, he's got the bowl
just one out.
Just out. Now, is it just 1 or 2? You'll see the shirt that David is wearing is that fundraising shirt, the fundraising event that they had.
Yeah, of course.
The Rolling for Ariella shirt.
I was at the club on Friday. I was talking to the guys down there. They haven't fully counted all the funds that they've raised, but it looks like it's going to be at around that $35,000 mark.
It's amazing, isn't it? I know the Premier League teams yesterday all put money in, or the majority did anyway. I think that will still be coming through to fruition. But
and what a great cause.
Yeah.
Of course, the club's got a fantastic history with the. It's a second event of that nature that they've held there. Of course, raising funds for Kelvin in his fight for bowel cancer. So, what a great community.
Brilliant. I notice. That was 2 shots to Blake Butler, by the way, there. So 18-8 is now the lead to Blake. We haven't had a scoreboard update on the actual scoreboard yet, but that'll come shortly. You've got that on your screen.
Another solid start there by Blake. He's really found this backhand going away from the clubhouse. He's dialed into it well.
Yeah, David's just in a little bit of danger of this one slipping away at the moment, isn't he? Just needs to get the next couple of ends and close that gap back up. It's as we talk about that springboard, once you get to that 17, you can close it out in one end. And, well, Blake, every time he's scored, he hasn't scored a 1.
He's scored multiples.
It's all been 2s. In fact, it's 3 2s and 3 3s.
Yeah, as we've said.
3 2s and 4 3s.
As we've said, when he's got close, he's had the advantage of being able to group 2 or 3 together in a row, which has obviously seen him now jump to that 18-8 lead. As you say that, he's just dropped 1 short, which has been rare for him going this way.
Presents an opportunity for David, doesn't it? And 13-12, now the lead to Todd Weir over Stein Davies. So that one looking close. 14-10, Shane Knott over Daniel Truella, and Chris Landers just closed that gap a little bit against Cody Packer.
Yeah.
11-7, the lead to Cody there, as David just needs us to pull up. Just drifted under again.
Yeah.
It's a measure for shot. Signalled by David Von Horn.
That really has been the difference though so far, hasn't it, Clive? David's just struggled to find that consistency with his line and his weight.
This will turn late. Don't know if it'll quite do it in time. Not quite.
In the area.
So just the slightest correction required for David Goddard. Now, has he found a bit more in the way of line? It's still looking like it wants to drop under, but his weight's better.
This is good.
That's well played. Just drops underneath and sits for at least 1.
Good shot there. As you see, Cody on the far rink there has just peeled one of Chris Landers' bowls out there to be holding 3, it looks like.
Enjoyed it too. He does have a good celebration, does Cody?
He does.
We see it at a BPL.
That was the final bowl of that end too, so it does look like Cody's picked up a 3 on that end there to take the score to. Can you see that board there,
It'll
Clive?
be 14-7 now.
14-7, so...
Gave it the good come on.
He did.
There's a determination in Cody to win a state singles. There's no doubt about that, and I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure it's in there with everyone that's out there. But it's one that Cody hasn't ticked off his list. He's ticked a lot off his list, but a state singles is one that he hasn't been able to get.
I think he's overdue, although he is in the what you'd say the difficult side of the draw today, isn't he? Following this game, if he does happen to get across the line, of course he's going to meet either Shane Knott or Daniel Truella, which. Of course, both, well-renowned players in their own right.
Absolutely. Well, all 4 players in that half of the draw have played for WA.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Lander a few years ago now. Chris Lander made his debut for WA in 1990. Cody, of course, a current Australian Jackaroo and WA state skipper.
We played against Chris yesterday, actually, in the Pennants, and... he was probably the difference on the day in our rink. He played extremely well,
yeah,
particularly playing some big bowls.
Yep. Yeah. Now, that's 1, and we will measure for a second here for David, but the most important thing for him is he's got his side of the score ticking. From this angle, like it might just be the one.
Just wondering whether we might see David stretch this out a bit
Back
now.
out to that longer length that we saw him playing earlier. Yeah, just the one it is. Two, is it?
Two. Was two.
Interesting. Okay, two it is. So 18-10 is the lead to Blake Butler, and well, two more ends to. We often talk about the importance of two ends in a row. If you can get the next two ends, he could close it. He can close the gap down to a sort of a 4 or a 5. He's in it.
As we said that, he's just rolled the jack in the ditch, which unfortunately for him, he's going to be giving the choice of length back to Blake. So we should see Blake shorten this one up again.
While they're doing that, let's do an update across the board. So it's 13-12. Todd Weir leads Stein Davies. 14-13. Shane Knott leads Daniel Truella. And 14-7. Cody Packer leads Chris Lander. In the women's semi-finals, 25 up. 16-15 to Irene Arndt over Chris Ace Watson. That one's tightened up. It's been big scores happening in that game.
Yes.
And Kerry Anderson still clings to a 3-shot lead over Deb Saunders, 14 shots to 11.
That is a very interesting game, that last one too, Clive. The heads have been very good now since the game's got going, and Deb's getting them close. Very interesting game.
Deb is a unique player.
She is wrong foot, as she's affectionately known.
Yes.
Of course, she was a member at South Perth for a while before she swapped over to Osborne Park. She was interesting background. When she first started playing bowls, she actually refused to play pennants. She found the game quite boring, but it's good to see she's made the move to Osborne Park and she's playing pennants, which has obviously helped the quality of her game.
Yeah, she's certainly a character.
Yep.
And that's you need your characters in the sport. And while she would have been nervous coming into today, she would have also had a confidence about her, because that's just who she is.
It is, yeah.
All right. David Goddard holding sway after the first two bowls of this end. Now, can he climb around the front to the jack here? Needs to miss the white bowl. Well, he's now down one.
It's knocked up Blake there. It's a bit unfortunate. He played with good weight there.
Will this get back for Blake? It's trying. Well, it's not far away and it's fallen in, so...
Not a bad position.
Might get a signal from Dave Von Horn here. Oh, on a measure, so... Suddenly this bowl of David Goddard becomes pretty important, with Blake still with 2 to play.
Looks like he's thrown it out there. It's whether or not it's going to get all the way back.
I'll tell you what, it's a fair effort.
He's played this well.
Has he got the run?
He has. Do you think
Superb
so?
bowl. I think he's just made it. Yes, he has.
He has. Well done.
Great shot.
Good shot.
So 2.5 bowls in front of Jack High tells us it's about a foot in front of Jack High. And remembering when we say how far a bowl is short of Jack High, we actually have to take the front of the bowl to the front of the jack. It's an interesting one. It actually includes the bowl.
Yep.
Well,
Ooh.
Things have wobbled around. I think David Goddard's still got at least one. It might actually be a couple.
I think he might have just promoted that front one. It could be 2 now. Hard to tell from here, from our angle.
Dave Killish von Horn getting in there and having a look for us, and it is 2 at the moment. So, well,
interesting.
Maybe all is not quite over just yet.
Sort of an interesting position there, Clive, because playing the backhand now is probably fraught with a little bit of danger of rolling Blake in. He's staying there though.
Well, given the fact he's left-handed, it's forehand, but
sorry. Yeah. Sorry, sticking with his forehand on that side. Looks like he's put it on a good track though.
He has. He's put it out to a good line. It looks to be running a little, but catch the edge of his outside bowl.
No danger.
Irene Arndt has the support of plenty of Safety Bay crowd here today, and
she's just bowled a lovely bowl there.
Cracker, yeah.
Touching the jack.
She leads 18-15 in that one. Of course, they are playing to 25. Credit to Deb Saunders there. She was just heading across the back of the ring, looked up and saw Blake about to play his bowl and waited. Not everyone's alert to that, as Blake's just dropping under here. So, looks like it'll be 2 more added to the score for David Goddard, and he is charging his way back into this. That's 2 twos in a row, and he closes the gap to 18-12.
Yeah, well played, and I think this time we'll see the jack length will be pushed out a bit.
Long, but still on the green for
yes,
David will be hoping.
Hopefully, yes.
Stein Davies has hit the front 15-13 against Todd Weir. 15-7 the lead to Cody Packer over Chris Lander. And it's still 14-13 in favour of Shane Knott over Daniel Truella. And it looks like Shane Knott has drawn the shot over there on that rink. And might be looking for a couple, yep. 19-15 the lead to Irene Arndt over Chris Ace Watson, and 16-11 the lead to Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders.
As we see David coming down, looks like he's on a good track here. Lovely ball. Great shot to start with. Reply here from Blake.
Look at those 2 opening bowls.
Look at that.
Does it drop in? Well,
not
close.
Quite. Very good.
Brilliant bowls to start this end.
That's David swapping over now to his forehand.
Haven't seen him play too many bowls on this side of the rink in this direction.
No, he seems to have struggled to find the track here. He's generally been playing narrow. It does actually turn on this hand.
Tell you what, he's not quite going to get down in time. What a fantastic effort.
Good sign there though. He actually has found the line there, so just a little bit over.
We haven't had a signal from the marker. You'd sort of favour the flat bowl at the moment. That is of David Goddard, but there's nothing in it. Blake.
Tell you what, he's close. Just needs to run.
That's all it's going to be. It's just a smidgen of weight. And it is 1 blue. 1 to David Goddard. It's going to force David back to his backhand. Can't play forehand now. Looks like he still is.
He's still playing there.
Well, this is going to have to be perfect to get round and have the right weight to drop in. Not going to do it. Who got you, Troy, in the event?
Todd Weir.
Ah.
He obviously playing on his home deck, certainly an advantage, but he played very well. He just beat me to the jack, you know, particularly early in the game. Established a bit of a lead and just wasn't able to peg that back.
Yep.
He played very well. He has been in good form. Played him in Pennants a couple of weeks ago as well, and happened to be on the same rink, and again played very well. So
no doubt who the crowd favourite is here, Troy. The crowd's come to see Irene Hunt.
yeah, there's plenty of Safety Bay people here today.
She's a popular lady, very nice lady, a very, very good player.
She's playing well too.
Let's say runner-up to Christina just a few years ago, and as was Chris Ace Watson.
Oh, great shot by Chris Ace Watson
Chris
there, burying the
door.
jack in the well.
Well, keeping that one alive.
Picked up a 2 there.
As David has just dropped short with his last attempt here. Still one more bowl for Blake Butler to play, but David sticks around in this, and next door, Irene Hunt leads 19-17 now over Chris Ace Watson, remembering that match is first to 25.
So what are you thinking here, Clive? Do you think Blake's going to stick to this backhand side, or maybe swap over and look to... He gets a bit of that jack, you know, there's a chance he could make 3.
Backhand, isn't it?
Yeah, he's actually turning a bit more on the forehand side. He's got a chance to slice the jack, maybe even make 3 if he gets the side of the jack
3
there.
Big game.
He has done that. He's swapping over to that forehand. Let's have a look, see if he gets it out wide enough.
Yeah, so it's reaching weight. Nothing overboard, but reaching weight. Is it getting down? Just outside.
Oh, that was a very good effort.
Now, I'll just confirm that it is one to David, and if so, he strings another group of 3 ends together. Yep, one it is to David Goddard, and he trails now 18-13, having won 3 ends in a row once again. He's done that 3 times in the match. 3 ends on the trot.
And as we know, Clive, the closer you get to 21, the harder it is to get there.
Well, Blake Butler still hasn't scored a single in the match. He's everything's been 2s and 3s.
Oh, if that's been the case, we're maybe likely to see a 3 to go out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. This time quite accurate with his jack roll. Jack almost to the tee. Matt up just... 2 or 3 mats up from the tee, so...
David has played well in this direction on this forehand side for him, so expect him to draw one.
You've got him, I think.
Close.
I think you've got him.
As I say that, he's just dropped short with his first one.
Welcome to the commentator's curse, Troy. Updates from across the boards. Cody Packer has pushed right out now to an 18-7 advantage over Chris Lander. 16-14 lead to Shane Knott over Daniel Truella. I'll have to give you the... it's 15-13 Stein Davies over Todd Weir at the moment. And then in the women's semi-finals, as we mentioned, 19-17 Irene Arndt over Chris Ace Watson. And 17-11 to... Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders at the moment.
And comes David now with his second bowl.
Important correction to find here. Needs just to run.
Not sure he's made that correction, Clive.
No, a little bit. You can easily find yourself under the pump here. Blake plays a good bowl here. Suddenly 2 down with the opposition on 18. Well, this is very deep.
That one's not going to get back.
We've seen the players struggle at times with this jack on the tee.
Yeah.
It made it all the way to the ditch, that last bolt.
David really needs to get one close here. He certainly doesn't want to be 2 down with his last bowl to play. The weight looks better here, I think.
Is he round? Is he around?
Well, he's done enough.
They've both fallen in.
Yeah,
He's
done enough.
Yeah.
Done enough.
He's going to need this to turn. As you've mentioned a few times, Troy, it doesn't do an awful lot out there.
You think it's going to turn more out there, and it just holds. The wind obviously must be bouncing off the
Can we rule that out completely of being shot? I'm not certain.
We haven't really had an indication from Dave yet.
It might be reaching in. In fact, it is. It is one to Blake Butler. That last bowl, that's where sometimes the camera angle can be misleading. That last bowl looks quite wide, but it is actually shot bowl. So no real danger of losing the match here for David Goddard, but he'd love to take advantage of plenty of room here and draw shot. He's still on a tightish line.
I
think he's going to do enough though.
Yeah, this is the one I think. Just needs to pull up a bit.
It's pulling away, good. But that'll do. Yep.
Finished just about jack high. That's a good shot.
Kerry Anderson will score again in her match against Deb Saunders. Another one on the board there, so 18-11. And Irene Arndt has made the move, Troy. Now leads 22-17.
Within reach.
Cody Packers within one shot of victory over there. 20 shots to 7. He leads Chris Lander. And Stein Davies, 18-13 now over Todd Weir.
That's a good effort because he was down a fair way at the start of that game.
Stein, very experienced player.
Very good player, Stein. Built course, been around for years.
Blake's played this well. He needs a clear run.
Going to promote his own, is he?
Don't think that will have done enough. I'd say that'll still be 1 to David, and that'll be 4 ends in a row if it is.
Yep, that's right. 1 to David.
Well, at 18-8, you could have been excused for thinking this one might be close to a finish. 18-14, 4 ends in a row to David Goddard.
He's just been grinding away.
You can do that in singles. You don't have the pressure of ends to worry about. It's all about stopping your opposition from scoring. If you're doing that, then your board's ticking over as well.
Yeah, of course, we saw David perform quite well in the Master Singles of last year, I think, where he beat some, quality players along the way. This one looks...
Well, he needs the jack. Just outside it.
Still not a bad opener.
Daniel Truella has taken the lead against Shane Knott, 17-16. So it looks like it's going to be one of those games where someone's going to hit 21 and take the win. And if they played for another half an hour, it could have been the other way around.
Yep. Shane just holding shot over there too.
Yeah, and room to add another over there. So we'll keep an eye on that as it gets close to a finish. But right now, we're none the wiser as to who's going to win this one. We probably thought we were. If David can get the next, it's always that next 2 ends, but if David can get this end, it would have got to have Blake thinking about it at that point.
Absolutely. Is he going to crash there, Clive?
It's just under.
Ooh.
Little edge and under. Now, it's probably done enough for shot. It has. Well, I thought David might have been tempted to switch hands and give himself a chance to turn his own. He's instead Going to stick with his backhand, trying to get that gap between the two white bowls.
Obviously, a lot more confident on this hand to play there.
Well, it doesn't matter if he hits the shot bowl, does it?
No.
You know, now, has he got a run here?
Tell you what,
Is he round?
He's played this well.
What a shot!
Great
Just
shot.
caught the edge and got round. Beautifully played.
Very good shot.
Blake just overdoing it with his third bowl. Now, okay, so Troy, the fact that David's got shot, does that change anything here? Does he now play the forehand side? His forehand.
I think he's going to stay where he is, Clive. I think the fact that he's put that one there, he's probably a little bit confident in the fact that even if he did happen to get onto that short white one of Blake's, he's probably not going to do too much damage because it's probably going to get to his own. So
He's had to think about it.
I think if he just gets around that wide, and even if he's beating that back black one, white one of Blake's, that's a good spot to be.
He's gone to the forehand.
You were right, Clive. I should have listened to you, of course.
It's always the way, mate. He's gone to the forehand, looking for this to get down late.
Tell you what, he's played it well.
Just going to run too far, I think. That's all it is. Look at that line. That line was impeccable. Still, he's got the most important bowl on the rink at the moment. That one shot that'll edge him closer.
So are we going to see Blake probably search a little bit?
Well, the trail's good for him, isn't it? Well, as long as he gets all of it.
Plays a little bit narrow and gets to that blue bowl there, the shot bowl, or gets the jack.
I feel like that's the shot. I think you got this one right, Troy.
We'll see, Clive. Yeah, that's a shot he seems to be playing.
Just reaching sort of weight. Now, how's the line? It gets down late here.
He's got the outside of David.
Wow.
Yeah, unlucky. So that's 2 to David.
Well, it is. And suddenly it's 18-16. 5 ends in a row to David Goddard, and well, this is now anyone's. What a match! David has just stuck around and stuck around. Kerry Anderson leads 18-11, just adds another one actually, 19-11 now against Deb Saunders. And Irene Arndt leads 22-18 over Chris Ace Watson. Not a long end here, Troy. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I might have thought it was roll that a bit deeper.
Eleven ends to 7 in this match in favour of David Goddard.
Pretty good opener.
You lead your first bowl there in singles. You're never unhappy. Now, has he?
Blake's just going to pull up a fraction short there.
And forces a change of hand. Can't afford to be rolling bowls up now. Compact little delivery, David Goddard. The pace looks okay.
Looks okay.
Well, that's well played. Given the fact he really hasn't played a lot of bowls on that side of the rink.
Very good.
Early on he was there, but switched away from it. Well, Blake's got more weight on this.
Looks to be on a fairly good line too.
Corrected a little bit, but not a lot.
Well, you know, you can't really afford short bowls like that at this stage of the game, Clive, can you?
where that's landed, it's still usable. I mean, you can still roll that up. The first one's the one.
Just needs to get around there.
He has. Great shot from David Goddard. Look at that. What
Brilliant.
a shot.
Brilliant shot.
Well, seen Blake's not one for taking a lot of time on the mat. Just gets on and gets the bowl away. This is going to hold wide. Well, this is a huge opportunity now for David. Plays another good bowl here. He can take the lead. Blake still has one to answer with. Cody Packer has booked his place in the semi-finals. He has defeated Chris Lander 21-8.
Well, David can afford to draw to his own bowl, the last shot bowl there. Touches the jack 2 or 3 inches, Clive. He's potentially going to make 4.
Daniel Torella and Shane Knott have finished as well, but I don't know who's won that match because the scoreboard has not been updated. Given that Shane was on 16, you'd think that Daniel's bringing his bowls in. Watching DT, he's got his bag with him. So we'll see if we can find out a scoreline there for you. Bit of a shame they haven't put the score on the scoreboard, but
I'm just looking at Shane over there, trying to... Right, so we've got Blake to play his last bowl now. Waits.
I'll tell you what.
Good weight.
Is he going to get right down? Not quite. What a fantastic effort.
Cut one out. One to David.
You sure? Yes. One to David it is, but now both players are within reach of victory on just the one end, as it is an 18-17 lead to Blake Butler.
See David stretched that out to a almost maximum length.
Okay, we are just searching for that result for you between Shane and DT. We'll have that for you shortly.
Good opening bowl there from David, probably about half a metre. Jack high, almost.
And we can confirm it is Shane Knott that has won that match, 21-17. So, there you go. That was the assumption that DT was on 17 and therefore might have got there was wrong. So, 21-17 to Shane Knott. So, we already know that Shane Knott will play Cody Packer in one semi-final. What a match that'll be.
An interesting game that one will be for sure.
In our next round of matches, we'll be covering the women's final, but we will keep you up to date with all of the scores in those men's semi-finals. Great mates, those two, Shane Knott and Cody Packer. Spend many a family occasion together. So it'll be played in wonderful spirit, that's for sure. 22-19, Irene Arndt leads Chris Ace Watson. Chris Ace Watson and Irene Lay are teammates, of course. I knew I was going to do that at some point. And 19-11, the lead to Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders. But right now, David Goddard. There is an opportunity looming right here.
And he swapped back to his forehand again, looking to get inside his shot bowl there, Jack High.
Well, there's plenty of room. He draws this. He puts Blake under all sorts of pressure.
And he does.
Weight looks good.
He's on a good path. Just needs to drop under.
That'll do to count. It's still going, but yeah, that'll do to count.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 2.
Well, it was 18-8. It's now 18-17. Well, this is well pointed from Blake Butler. He's going to need it to hang on now. And it tries to get away. Well, look
Has
to
he
a
done
signal.
enough there?
I don't know. On our monitor, that probably still looks blue.
Haven't had a signal from David, who's marking at this stage. So
Generally, the
must
marker
be
will
close.
wait. Yeah, generally the marker will wait until the player turns away before they get in and have a good look. David has just decided to stay put.
He's sort
One
of
blue. One blue.
Okay.
Generally, the markers roll can change on the streamed rinks and the TV covered rinks. Often they will signal shot a little bit more without necessarily being asked by the players. Well,
David's on a bit of a tighter line here.
he just needs it to pull up. He's played it well.
That's a good shot.
Just needs it to pull up, and it has. What a great shot. Well, is this going to be...
That's 2.
Is this going to be 7
maybe?
ends in a row? He's won the last 6 ends in a row after trailing 8-18. Updates from the other men's quarterfinal still out there. It's 18-16 to Stein Davies over Todd Weir. Stein's played a very good first bowl. But right now, can Blake Butler get the shot? Taking his time. In fact, unusually in a way, Blake's not been one that's been taking a lot of time at all throughout the match. Well, this is
Researching.
This is more reaching, yeah. Now, what contact has he got? He's got no contact at all. Pushes right through, and this might be, if David Goddard's got 2, which we think he has, it's going to be the first time he's been in front for the match.
Got the lie detector out.
He trailed 5-0. He trailed 11-3, and he trailed 18-8. And right now,
He's got it.
he leads
It's 2.
19-18, having won 7 ends in a row. Incredible stuff. Irene Arndt is within 2 shots of victory, 23-19 over Chris A. Swatson. And Kerry Anderson needs 6. She's on 19. Deb Saunders is on 12 and has just sent the jack into the ditch trying to change the length. Now David's gone back to his more favoured longer length, and that jack will be safely on the green, so no trouble there. This will be interesting because the players haven't exactly nailed it when this jack's been on the tee.
No, it seems on that long end going this way, they've both struggled to find the line and the weight. Be interesting to see how David goes with his first bowl.
So 19-18 the lead to David Goddard. So he just needs 2 more for victory.
He's played this pretty well, Clive.
He has. Look at that for an opener. Well, we
shot.
said they've been struggling on this length. Not so much this time. There's some nice aromas floating around the club at the moment.
Yes, hamburgers, I believe.
Sounds good. If you're in the area, get down and enjoy a, we assume it's Basso burgers that they must have on.
And the crowd has built up a bit, Clive. We're seeing a few more people have certainly rolled in since the games have commenced.
Absolutely stunning day to be outside.
Come down, there's plenty of shade around, so don't let the heat put you off.
Well, a switch of hands as Irene Arndt is one shot away from victory next door and a place in the final, and has nailed the jack with her first. David Goddard looking to do something similar right here. Is this going to get back enough? Don't think that'll count. Incredible turnaround in this match.
Everyone's just going under.
Well, if David could cover up this jack right now. Again, we find Blake with those first two bowls just short of the jack. Not miles short of the jack, but they're a little bit out of the game where they are.
This one looks to be under as well.
Yeah, I think for a bit of both. I think it's more the weight than anything. Blake Butler finding himself with the wrong bowl in his hand there. I think he kicked the bowl up with him and then looked down and went, oh, oops.
Looks like he's in two minds here,
Well,
Clive.
he can't go big. He can't afford to move his own bowl out. There's room for a searcher here. Land the shot bowl, trail the jack.
Yeah, he's stuck to the draw.
Yeah, this isn't going to get back for him. Not in time, anyway. It's run past.
Needs to hang on, which it has.
Well, that gives him an option with his last, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Well, David will have nothing else in mind than trying to get second shot here. If he can just get a little nudge of the jack, perhaps, and cover it up.
Yeah, a little touch of the jack here.
Todd Weir's just grabbed 3 shots against Stein Davies over there, and I think he takes the lead based on that, 19-18. So we've got a nail biter over there as well. Okay. This match is getting close to a finish all over the green here. Already got a couple of winners. Shane Knott.
Tell you what, he's played
Cody
this well,
Packer.
Clive.
Hasn't he? Hasn't he?
Little.
Doesn't want the gap. Well, he's found the gap.
Tell you what, that was very unlucky. A little touch of the jack there to hide it away behind
That's
those
remarkable.
short bowls.
As that bowl was coming in, you couldn't have seen that it could roll far enough not to count. You know, unbelievable. And there's you'll be catching some of that applause. That is for Irene Arndt, that books her place in our next match, which will be the women's final. Fantastic effort from Irene. Another one of those players that just always seems to be about the place in singles events. Chris Ace Watson bows out.
You know, are we going to see a bit of weight here, Clive, with Blake, or are we going to stick to the draw? No, he's sticking to the draw again.
Yeah, he just can't risk contact on his own bowl. Well, he's in the area again.
This one's a better line, certainly.
He's very close. His bowl also just skirts past the jack and runs on, so we believe it's just one. One it is.
Under David.
Well, it's 2018 to David Goddard. And he's won the last 8 ends in a row. Incredible. Incredible stuff.
He's just hung in there, hasn't he? You know, at the start, when he was having trouble finding it, he just hung in there, and obviously his confidence has built over the last 6 or 7 ends.
Now, our other men's quarterfinal is still out there. That match is locked away at 19 apiece between Todd Weir and Stein Davies right now.
With Todd currently holding shot, but still plenty of room for Stein to draw there.
So we'll keep an eye on that one for you, but right now, David Goddard's chasing one for victory. This is going to be a bit quick. Still not the worst place to land with your first bowl.
Stein Davies just touched the jack over there, unfortunately touching it back to Todd Weir's bowl, so the jack's probably sitting about a foot away from Todd's bowl at the moment.
Blake Butler with a nice opener here if he can collect the jack. Just going to pass underneath. So he's also run a little bit too far from what he would have liked. Fair bit of movement on the bank here. Just need to be a bit careful with players still out there playing. People wanting to congratulate Irene. And as David made the correction.
Still running a bit, I think.
He's got the jack.
Got the jack.
Caught a piece of it.
Just the edge of it.
It's enough for shot. It is enough for shot as we stand. Once again, Blake very quick on the mat. You look up and the ball's halfway down.
He's not wasting any time.
Has he got the trip here?
I think he has, Clive.
Oh, I think so.
I think he's done enough from our angle. Looks like it.
One wide.
Yep.
Was Blake just giving himself a little cheer down the other end there? I think he
did,
was.
yeah.
I think he's frustrated. He's frustrated a little bit over the last few ends.
Definitely frustrated. A little touch on the jack here for David would be very handy.
He's trotting down after it. He's crouched down behind it.
Tell you what, he's
What's
locked
he got?
it.
Oh, he's just nicked the jack.
That's twice.
I don't think that will have been enough to make a difference. I'll tell you what,
David's having a good look at it.
there was danger there that it could have been two. I don't think it is.
I think it's only still one because he was having a good look
just
at
one. Yep. Blake has asked whether he can come and have a look. Under the rules, the players can only visit the head after they've played their third bowl, but they can ask the marker if they can come down and have a look. And unless there's specific reason to say no, the marker will never say no to that. Probably if it's the 15th time in the game they've asked to do it, they might say no.
Well, I think you can get away with it, Clive, this stage of the game
Yeah,
when it's 2018. I don't think the
absolutely.
marker's going to be saying no.
So, under normal circumstances, Blake might be a bit concerned he needs to cover the trail for four. The fact is, as Todd Weir has just drawn a toucher over there against Stein Davies, difficult for us to see how many it is. Willie might be about to signal for us.
Could be 2 or 3, is it, Clive? Or anyone? Got the paddles out. He's not really giving any indication as yet, is old Willie, the marker.
He's about to now.
2.
Which tells us that Todd Weir is holding game over there. So, as I was saying here, Blake doesn't really have to worry about the fact that the trail's good for David Goddard because one shot is all that David needs.
Correct.
So, no need to cover any trails. Now, has that done enough? It's held up.
It's held up.
And, in fact, it's fallen in against the bias, so that will definitely count.
And he's covered the trail.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 shots. So, right now, I mean, if we had those 2 shots, it's 20 all with a bowl left each to play. Stein calling for the jack. He got the bowl. Now, if it was 2, then it'll only be 1. So it may still be going to another end over there, as you see on screen.
I think it might still be 2 there, Clive.
But right now, well, the signal from Willie was 2 initially, and he got one of them out. So
he did move that back bowl of Stein's on the way through, so not whether or not he moved it far enough. Oh no, he's only signalling 1. So
all right, well, right now,
back to this game.
David Goddard. Can he find a way to get shot? Can he find a way to get shot? Can he find a way in here? He's not far away. I think he's just running.
Needs to land.
He's just running.
Just through.
Well, right now.
Blake with the chance now.
Wow. Are we going to 20 all? Or is Blake winning it right here? Wow.
All right.
It was only one over there to Todd Weir. He leads 2019. And while we've been
Deb Saunders has come back.
Deb Saunders back to 17-19.
She just picked up a 2 on the last end and she's nailed the jack first.
Wow.
Exactly. Interesting. Right, here we go, Blake. Drawing for the match potentially here.
It's out very wide. It'll try and get back, but it won't get back to count.
No.
So, if it's 2, then we're 20 all. We tried to dive back.
He tried to come off that side bowl there. Yep. So we're down to the 20 all.
First to 1. Yeah, little shake of hands by the two players there to say all the best. And it is 20 all as we see Todd Weir delivering his bowl over there. It's 2019 over there. And it's 20 all. Who would have thought from 18-8 we'd be playing down to a one-end sudden death final end.
Certainly been entertaining. Okay, which one of these players can nail the jack, put the pressure on? Pretty good start there from Blake. Almost jack high there, just for a little bit narrow, about a foot or so away. Interesting, Clive, in the state singles final that Blake won on in this same situation. He buried the jack in the world, didn't he? With his,
he did.
First bowl.
Well, David's done enough there, that shot. He did, yeah. Obviously wasn't feeling that today.
Aye.
Todd Weir holding shot over there against Stein Davies at the moment. And is this one going to get all the way back for Blake in time for shot? It's close. If that falls in, that'll be shot. It's stood up.
Oh, it's gone the other way. Still close.
No doubt if that had fallen in, it would have been enough. A measure is the call. Stein Davies has got shot over there now against Todd Weir. Action happening everywhere right now. A measure for the shot right here. It's 20 all and a measure.
Looks a fraction high, Clive.
That's all it is. The weight was good to give himself a chance to get in there. Not the worst place to have landed.
Yeah, he won't mind that. He's about a metre behind.
I think Todd's recreated shot over there against Stein, although it is close. Right now, Blake Butler. Has he got the journey?
Looks like on a better line, Clive.
Has he got the trip?
Oh, it's short.
Oh, what do you do now if you're David Goddard? I think you've got to change hands. Looks like he is.
He has, yeah.
Just using that back bowl of Blake Butler as a guide. Needs to drop inside that bowl. Doesn't want to catch the outside of that bowl. Needs to leave it now. Well, it was close.
Survives.
He caught the outside of the bowl. He might have
think he would
tipped
have,
it in.
I think you're right. He would have been down if he had caught the outside of that.
Well, it's 20 all on a measure, and they've got a bowl left each to play.
You haven't had an indication really from the body language of Blake there, or the marker of who's actually holding the shot. So
well, earlier in the end, David set a measure. So
yeah, very close.
Yep. Looks like Stein Davies trying to make a decision as to what to play over there, but we'll worry about that in a moment because Blake looks like he's lining up with weight here.
I think you're right, Clive.
Weight looking for that close bowl, and he has got it.
He has peeled that out and is now holding game.
Just caught the edge of the bowl off the outside. He's actually a little bit of an apology there from Blake. Just caught the edge. We might be able to catch a look at that one again.
Having said that, though, Clive, I mean, there was obviously the opportunity there to
Now
miss it a
holding
bowl
game.
wide and still get some sort of result.
Just
So
caught the. No, we'll stick with the action here. As
okay,
David Goddard now must draw the shot to win the match. Can afford a trail, but must draw the shot. He's gone back to his forehand. He's backing himself on the hand that he's played the most bowls on in the match. It's a chance.
I think the track's good, Clive.
Is it going to stop? That's the question. Does it stop for shot? It has rolled just too far. And Blake Butler takes the win, scoring just in time. He led 18-8, and it finishes 21-20. Blake removed. Well, we think Blake obviously felt that he was down game. Took the shot bowl out with it. He was in the area, but he felt the need to apologise because he did get the bowl off his other one. Now, Stein Davies has misconverting over there, and we are now measuring for shot over there. Todd Weir leads 2019 in our remaining quarter-final that is out there. In the women's semi-final that's still on the green, it's a 2017 lead to Kerry Anderson over Deb Saunders.
Kerry's currently holding 2. Gee,
So
David,
we'll just,
David liked that one. The last bowl coming down there, he was quite keen on it, wasn't
just
he?
needed to pull up, didn't
just
it?
a fraction overweight.
Now we'll stay with you while they just establish who has got shot over there. We've got cameras on there. You can see at the moment the operation that's going on. In fact, they've got the laser measure out to determine shot bowl.
Just while they're doing that, Clive too, and Kerry Anderson's just drawn another shot there, so it's currently holding 3.
And that is Todd Weir that has taken victory there. So we now know our men's semi-finalists will be Blake Butler versus Todd Weir and Shane Knott versus Cody Packer. They will be our men's semi-finals. We will be bringing you the match between the winner right here of Kerry Anderson and Deb Saunders, as that winner takes on Irene Arndt for the women's singles title. We will stick with you till the conclusion of this women's semi-final. Now, bear in mind our angles are a little bit compromised, so
I believe Kerry's
consider
holding
this
one
bonus
there.
footage.
Kerry holding 1 shot with Deb just drawing second shot on her last bowl there.
Difficult for us to change cameras around with people seated on these rinks and things like that, so we'll stick with the with this angle for you. Kerry Anderson.
So the semi-final between Todd and Blake should be a good one, Clive, I think. I mean, both players in pretty good form. Todd.
What a remarkable effort from Todd. I mean, you know, he's a player that's been around for a little while now.
Yep.
But probably not one that you would have picked in your tournament favourites. Great
that
shot there from Kerry.
Player that flies under the radar, but
Yeah.
obviously a very good player. And as I say, he has been in good form lately. I've seen it firsthand, and should be a good game.
There's confirmation that Kerry is holding 2 shots here. Of course, this is first to 25. Kerry leading 20-17 at the moment, and using those darker bowls with the white markings. And I think she's got white stickers on. She does. The white stickers. Looks like weight here from
how unusual.
And looking for connection with the jack. And jack into the ditch. Is that going to make 4?
She's made 4 out of that, Clive.
If that bowl isn't a toucher that's gone in the ditch of Kerry's, which we don't believe it is, then that is going to be 4 shots to Deb. Anne's marking the jack. She doesn't need to mark the jack. Is that a toucher or not? That's
it's not a toucher, Clive, no.
Well, that is going to be 4 shots to Deb Saunders, and she leads it 21-20.
What a shot there, Clive.
Wow. She tried 11-1 in this match. Crowd getting behind Debbie.
So that's the first time in that match, Clive, that Debbie's found herself in front. She now leads 21-20.
All right, Jack right to the edge of the rink. And we'll get put back on the tee, and 4 shots required for Deb, 5 shots for Kerry to book a place in the final.
Anyone that knows Deb too, Clive, and would know that she's a prolific practicer, practicing 8 days a week.
Yeah, it's and at all different clubs as well. Gets around and tries different surfaces.
Her and a partner, they're quite often seen as we drive around the clubs, isn't she?
Yes.
Rolling up at various clubs. And of course, Kerry Anderson, what a fantastic player she is and has been. Not far away, Clive.
It's a great shot. Great shot from Kerry Anderson. If you've just joined us and you're wondering why the strange angle, of course our match for coverage has been completed. Blake Butler defeating David Goddard in an enthralling encounter, 21-20. As Deb lining up with weight again here.
Yeah, she does like that shot. It's probably her favourite shot.
Well,
she's peeled.
No one's got shot. Oh, hey, yes, Kerry's was a toucher, wasn't it? So Kerry's bowl in the ditch is the shot.
Yeah, she's certainly not frightened to play that shot, is she, Clive? Kerry again.
Played it well again. Brilliant bowl from Kerry Anderson.
Well played.
What a shot. We're at the Australian Championships. Kerry came up to me at the start of the day and she said, I hope you're not streaming the old Ducks, are you? And they made the final and won it.
Yeah. And didn't they play well?
Didn't they?
They played extremely well. Beat a fair side too.
Yeah, they did. She's a great lady, is Kerry. She's given a lot to the sport. Super player. And yeah, wonderful servant of the sport.
Another good bowl by Kerry. Just behind the jack, counting for 2. Deb playing weight again.
Well, the only trouble with this is if she misses, she's really going to hand 3 shots to... Well, she didn't miss. Oh, the jack has bounced back out. I don't know whether Deb realised that the jack... She just looked round and seen that the jack's bounced back out.
She was a fraction unlucky there.
She's very unlucky. And Kerry's going to have oodles of room to draw another. I'm surprised that Gary's gone down to have a look because she's holding one.
Well, that jack stays in the ditch, and Deb had 2 there, which would have made things very interesting indeed.
You're right. Backs herself on the runners, doesn't she? I mean, there was, if she missed that, she was basically handing 3 shots to Kerry. Right now, Kerry with a chance to draw 2 and retake the lead. Based on what we've seen on this end so far, we'd expect that she'll be able to do it. Well, she's done it. So it's going to be another 2 shots to Kerry Anderson. And she now leads at 22 shots to 21. Not sure whether we've got pictures up at the moment. So 22-21 the lead to Kerry Anderson. There we go. Well, Kerry's rolled the jack right to the edge this time, but again, back up on the tee, and we'll see both players now within one end of victory.
Smart play by Kerry too there, look, knowing that Deb's, has been driving and driving well, lengthen it out a bit, make that shot a little bit more difficult.
So currently,
looks like she's played a very good opening bowl as well, just slightly under, but well weighted.
Well, it's been a remarkable fight back from Deb Saunders, whether or not she wins this match or not. To come into your first semi-final, be trailing 11-1 against one of the best there's ever been in WA, and now be sitting at 22-21 behind is credit to her for being able to fight back in the match.
Certainly good effort. Well, she hasn't been playing bowls for that long either.
No.
It'd be less than 5 years, I'd say.
You just wonder now whether the experience really comes to the fore with Kerry. Certainly the mindset that Kerry will be in is that my experience should stand me in good stead here.
Yep.
That's going to be 2 at the moment to Kerry. She only needs 3 to book her place in the final.
Yeah. Looks like it's still a bit runny there, Clive. Just going to run through unless it's not going to crash Kerry's bowl there. So, although she has got 2 bowls right behind,
it wouldn't surprise us to see us put the jack in the ditch.
I know, she's done it a couple of times. And most likely if Kerry draws another close one here, that's the shot we're going to see from Deb. So, wait and see.
It does make you wonder whether that played into Kerry's mind a little bit, that she had to get one past. Is that going to stay up? It is.
Gee,
that's a perfect bowl.
That's a good bowl in the circumstances, knowing what Deb's done in the last few ends.
Just misses the jack. Well, you'd expect Kerry to draw a 3rd here and sit with match. Only issue is, if Deb trails the jack, she may have match herself.
Yeah.
Irene Arndt is already in our women's singles final. Who will join her? Kerry Anderson looking to add a third here.
And she's done it, Clive.
And has done so. Might have covered up the jack a little bit too. Tough to call on our angle. But that is definitely 3 shots.
It does look like from here, Clive, it looks like the trail is on.
There might be a path to the trail.
I think that front bowl there is actually sitting in a position that's going to allow a trail to be played.
This is where all that practice hopefully comes to fruition for Deb. So here we go. Irene Arna waits. Kerry Anderson holds 3. She led 11-1. She's now having to scrape her way to 25. What can Deb Saunders do about it? It's on its way. Well, it needs to have the trip is the first thing. It looks like it has. This is very close. And the trail?
Oh,
it's just missed.
Just missing.
Now, has it hung on for third shot is the question. From our angle, I'd say it may have done. But I'll tell you what, where that bowl has finished, if that had the jack with it, it was at least 3.
Exactly. Could have even been game, Clive.
Fantastic effort. 2 shots it is. Kerry Anderson leads 24-21, but Deb stays alive in the match. Now, one thing we won't see from Kerry Anderson is jack in the ditch.
No.
So, 24-21.
Sort of sticking with
Kerry Anderson.
3/4 length there.
She's been a star of WA bowls for the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
She's done everything. She's won masses of events. She's never won the state singles. Against Deb Saunders, who's here for the first time.
Yeah.
Once again, if you've just joined us, bonus coverage, hence the different camera angles.
Great start by Kerry.
As Kerry plays another corker with her first look at that. Does Deb get the drive out straight away?
No, it's just drawing.
Our feature match was Blake Butler and David Goddard. It went down to 21-20. Blake Butler getting over the line.
She's in the area, Clive. Got the jack, has she?
Oh, but the gap. Wow. A reminder, men's semi-finals, Blake Butler to take on Todd Weir and Shane Knott to take on Cody Packer. We will bring you the women's final and we'll wrap up the day with the men's final. As Kerry very close with this again.
Very good bowl.
Well, she's taken away that jack high bowl a little. I think Deb might attack this. You've got to consider that for her to cut this down, for her to get shot, she's going to play a very good bowl with one of those next 3. She might be better off firing at this straight away and create herself a bit of room.
Looks like she's staying on the draw. She's looking to sit either of those 2 bowls.
Far away with the previous bowl.
Just needs to keep running a bit, I think. It's a little bit short.
Kerry changing hands on the back of that. Now, does she look to get past here rather than drawing? Wouldn't surprise me if she just hunts one round the back. That's where it's going. She's seen enough of the hits to know that she needs to have something at the back of the rink, and that's ideal.
And I think this time, Clive, I think we might see Deb just come and have a look.
Oh, I think she'll be playing the sit or the trail now. I think it's sit or trail. I don't think it's big hit.
One thing I've learnt watching Deb play bowls, mate, is she's rarely conventional.
All right, well, she's back at the mat. Stunning day here at Bassendean. That wind drops, you can just feel it warm up. Well, it is big weight, I think.
She's going big.
Big weight it is. And bowl and jack. Now, is the jack staying in? I think it probably has.
It's one shot to Deb.
Very hard for us to call from this angle, but I think that jack is still in. It'll be, yeah, it's definitely one.
One to Deb.
One to Deb. Well, another big hit, just when required.
Tell you what, Clive, she hasn't actually missed too many, has she?
No, not since we've been looking, that's for sure. So, Kerry Anderson, we expect that she'll hold game after this bowl. This is one of those bowls that if you nail it, you know what's going to happen. If you're a foot away, you make the opposition draw it. Just a little bit of movement behind the rink there. People just need to stand still back there. Okay. Kerry's bowl's on its way. Looks well weighted. Yeah, she's done the job.
Good enough.
You'd think that makes Deb draw it. Now she's got 2.5 feet.
Well, she's having a good think about it, Clive, so...
Well, there is a toucher in the ditch right at the back of the rink. That belongs to Deb. So if there's an angle for bowl or jack, she may choose that.
She's going big again, Clive. She's going for the bowl.
Let's wait, looking for bowl or jack. And wide it is. So, fantastic performance. Deb Saunders take a bow. A fantastic comeback. And it'll be Kerry Anderson to take on Irene Arndt. We will have a new champion, but we knew that at the start of the day. Both players have been there before. Both players have been runner-up in the state singles. That match will get underway in approximately 30 minutes. So please don't go too far. We're looking at around about a 12:20, 12:30 start for the women's singles final. Big thank you to Bassendean Bowling Club, and thank you to everyone that's joined us for the first of our 3 matches. We've still got the women's singles final and the men's singles final to come here at the Bowls WA Singles Championships for 2023. Thank you, Troy.
No worries, mate.
Yep, thank you. And thank you to Peter Harris as well. And we will be back in, as I said, around about half an hour, right back here at the Bassendean Bowls Club. We'll see you then.